Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at Wheel Talk Podcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks.
I'm ready.
Yes. Okay. Hello. We're live.
We're live.
Today, we're live. Today, Ryan's making me do the introductions, and we have Liz Cohen on the podcast today, and I met her, it was 2 years ago, wasn't it? 3 years ago.
It was COVID times, 2021, actually. You were on your way.
Last year.
You were on your way to Indiana.
Oh, so. yeah, 2021. Mm-hmm. I was on my way to Indiana. And and so we met. She lives in Denver, Colorado, and my parents live there. So I met up with her and we chatted. And so we'll get into all the things about her later. But welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hi. So you didn't stop by and see Liz? For some reason, I thought you said something about seeing her studio when you were in Denver last.
Yeah, I was going to stop this last time, but then on
the way to ClayCon West, I think you were talking
correctly.
About going to see her in organization or something like that.
Well, I didn't really plan my time correctly, and I had to get to Isaac's pronto, and there was a snowstorm that I had to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was I want to come, but I can't. So, and then before on my way there, that would have been ideal. But then my mom was like, I might have COVID. I might not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's not chance it.
Yeah. And I was going out of town to see someone that I didn't want to get sick with COVID. So we were like, let's just hold on.
Way to think ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there'll be other times that I'm sure you can go.
Totally.
All right. So can you give us a quick intro about yourself, Liz?
Yeah.
Sure. My name's Liz Cohen. I live in Denver, like Becca said. I work out of my home studio. It's in my backyard. It's like a separate building. And I've been working in clay for about 10, I think I've been saying 10 years for a couple of years. So I think it's closer to 12 years.
I do that too.
Yeah, it's just like what I say. 10 is a good number. But yeah, I think it's 12. I started in college. I'm from Atlanta originally. I went to college there as well. And right after college, I moved out to Denver. But I started clay like my sophomore year of college. So, what else about?
Yeah, your designs are very graphical. Does that mean you did some graphic design or something like that in college, or is that just your background? You just like that aesthetic?
Yeah, I just like shapes and colors and I guess graphic aspect of it. Yeah, but no graphic design background. I was started as an art history major because I thought I wanted to be a curator, and then I realized I'd have to go to grad school for that. And I was like, fuck that. So I was like, I'll just do a regular art degree. And I took a clay class because I had to do a 3D class, and I was like hooked. I did hand building first, and I liked it. So I was like, I'll take wheel throwing next. That's actually when I got hooked. So yeah, I did took all the clay classes I could throughout the rest of my school. But my degree is technically just a general studio art degree. It's not focused. Yeah. It's not ceramics BFA. But I consider myself an unofficial BFA in ceramics.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I'm the same.
Nice. Same.
When did you graduate college?
2013.
Okay.
That's the same year I did.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and I graduated in 2012. So that means that I've been doing clay for 13 years because I started in my sophomore year too.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel actually majored in art history, and she's kind of bummed because her degree says Bachelor in Studio Arts. But there's no art history on there. So she's like, studio arts. Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's weird. Did she do any like hands-on art classes or?
Not really. I mean, I think in that degree you have to take like the basics. So she did, like, we did take ceramics together, but she also did like drawing maybe. But I don't think you have to do the gamut of studio classes for art history like you would for studio arts. So
Yeah, I
Mm-mm.
wouldn't think so.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to college in Atlanta?
Yeah, I went to Georgia State University. It's right downtown. It's kind of an interesting campus just because it's such, it's like right in the city. So I didn't actually live on campus. I lived like 15 minutes north and commuted. And I worked, through school at a restaurant. Kind of continued that when I moved out here. I moved out to Denver in 2014 and started working in restaurants and also like got a job teaching at a rec center, clay classes, and then another rec center kind of thing, and realized I didn't really like teaching in that format. So then I just kind of continued working and saving money and trying to figure out, like, I guess hone in on my skills and stuff. And I never like stopped doing clay, but I like for a while it was mainly just I'm just trying to make money, and I have this goal, and eventually I'll get my shit together. And then we once we bought a house, then it was kind of like uphill from there, building the studio and all of that. And once I had the studio, that's when I felt like I had a place that I really like thrived in and could I don't know, figure myself out, my style and stuff. And shortly after that, I went full time. I mean, relatively shortly, I think. Yeah.
So when did full time start from like now?
It was a year. This
like
past
2021, right?
Yeah, like right after I saw you, Becca. February 1st was my first. 2021 was my first day. Self-employed.
First day. Wow.
Yeah.
Did it feel any different than the day before? Or the last day that you worked, I guess.
Sorta, yeah. Just like because I didn't have to like keep my phone next to me all the time, because that's how I would get emails, because I was working remotely at the time, which was awesome, which actually really helped me to go full time. It helped like push it, make it happen faster. And so just not having my like phone or computer close by, and not having to like make sure I wasn't like missing an email or something. That was the only difference. When
you were working full time, did you feel that itch to like? I feel that today of like grabbing my phone all the time, constantly. It's a fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm addicted to it, and it's like the do not disturb is only so good, but it's like if I find little lulls and I'm like waiting for something, even if it's for like 1 minute, I'm like, I'm gonna grab the phone, and it's.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that way. It's probably gotten worse now that like I have to do the Instagram stuff and market and everything, and I want to be active and engage quickly with people. So it's honestly gotten worse, I think, since I went full time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah, Becca, do you tend to like turn? I know you're not as engaged on Instagram all the time, but like, do you, while you're working throughout the day, do you do not disturb, or do you have that trouble of getting distracted or anything like that?
But I get distracted in like sections. So like I make sure that if I'm throwing, like today I threw 40 loft planters, like I put my phone in a place and I don't touch it until 40 is done. So like I do it in sections. So like I'm not going to touch my phone in the middle of me making anything unless it's like a super important text. And usually that's only from Rebecca, that I need to answer. But yeah, I'm definitely like, it's gotten worse because fucking Instagram and the fucking reels. Like I got off TikTok. Off TikTok and I was like, sweet. Yes. Like I'm not off, but like, I don't have to watch it, and it's so funny and they're like super satisfying to watch. And now I just watch reels all the time. And I wish that they would go away.
I know. Me too, for multiple reasons, because I don't want to make them.
There's that too.
Yeah. I can't even do TikTok. I'm like, nope. unless someone else is gonna do it for me, I'm not even signing up. I know it's just like a dark hole.
Yeah, time suck, and then
The-
it's like the having to be consistently on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like I don't even know how I did it back then. Like when I got like big on TikTok, I have no idea like how I even managed it. I think it was just that I was doing so much in the studio. It was easy to grab my phone and be like, this is what I'm doing, you know, and just not care so much. But I do think the videos are funny. You can learn a lot, but you gotta set fucking boundaries. You gotta set boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been meaning to get one of those apps that keeps me, like, lets me know, or like signs me off or whatever, closes the
Yeah.
app when I've done too much. But I all the ones that I found you have to pay for. I'm like, I don't really want to pay.
Do you have an Android?
For that? It's an iPhone.
Oh, iPhone has it on they have a feature on their phone.
The screen
I'll
time?
text you how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a screen time, and it'll say like, hey, you've been on for an hour, and then it'll
I
say
feel like
like,
that's
do you
not
wanna...
enough. That's easy to just like get the fuck out of here. Like I know.
Yeah,
I'm
but at least it tells you.
Yeah, that's true. I want
You know?
I want it to be like, you've hit your 45 minutes max for the day on this app, and you're not allowed in anymore.
Yeah, like
like
it
a
locks you out and you can't get in.
parental advice, like a parental settings kind of deal.
Yeah. I need a parent. Yeah.
Nice.
I have a question. Do you mind at all talking about your studio and like, because you have a shed that basically, like, do you mind talking about that and how like much money it was?
Oh yeah, no, I don't mind.
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind. You want me to just like talk about it?
Yeah,
go for it.
Just get into it. Wait, because you did like a little barn shed thingy, right?
Yep. So I did a bunch of research before, deciding on what I got. But I went through Tough Shed. It's a company that builds like all kinds of crazy shit. Like they build practically like homes now, I think, like small homes. But that's like 2-story and all that stuff. They just don't do
That's insane.
all the extras. They do the framing, the exterior, windows, doors, all that stuff. So I went through them, and I could design it how I wanted to design it, pick the colors, how many windows, where they're going to be, all that stuff. And so I did that, and I financed that through some kind of lender. Just the building itself, like I said, the framing, exterior, all that. They did not do the gutters. We did the gutters. So I did that, and that loan was about $11,000.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's
What's the square footage of it?
It's 200, so it's 10 by 20. I went for like deeper, like 2x6s instead of 2x4s because Colorado is cold, so I needed more insulation or more room for insulation. So I did that. Went for like the higher ceilings because I knew I wanted a lot of space. I wanted the loft. Like I had a lot of extras added on.
Yeah.
Because you only want to build this once. You don't have to add on to it and be like, all right, I'll grow. You kind of want to grow into it, right?
Yeah, and I knew like if I'm gonna spend $8,000, what's like another $3,000 to get like all the things I wanted, the light or the skylights, all the windows, because I wanted tons of windows everywhere that I had worked before, in like the homes that I was in were super dark and depressing, and I didn't want to work. I didn't feel like doing anything, so I was like, I need light, I need sunlight, and so did that. And then I had to like so I saved up a bunch of money too to like finish it out. So I saved up I probably spent about another 10, 11 grand cash just finishing it out. So I like poured the concrete slab for it. That was $2,000, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we did me and my partner Nate, we insulated it ourselves. We did all the drywall, the mudding. I paid another I think it was $2,000 again for the electrical. I had like a friend of a friend kind of thing, so it would have probably been double that honestly if he hadn't done it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he hooked up all the electrical. What else do we do? That's pretty much it. We got lights and stuff.
And your
Um,
kiln and everything is in there? Your kiln, your wheels, your
mhm.
work tables. Okay.
Yeah, everything. The only thing we don't have is running water, which is, it would have been like probably another like 5, 6 grand to do it just because of the layout of our property.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
shit.
yeah, they would have had to like bust up a bunch of concrete and run water lines back there because
Hmm.
it's a weird kind of configuration, our property. So yeah, I'd opted not to do that.
Yeah. You can
I
kind
was
of figure
like,
out ways to not have running water, honestly.
yeah, and it's been fine, and it's nice that Colorado's dry. That the water buckets.
Mm-hmm.
When I like need to change out my glaze, like where I clean all my glaze tools and stuff, I can like get the cleanish water off the top and let the other shit kind of dry out. Same with recycling clay.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. You just gotta,
Nice.
be patient sometimes and carry buckets up occasionally, buckets of water from the house. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I used to do that. It sucks,
Mhm.
but also you get so used to it that you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. The necessity, what is invention? What's that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention or something like that. Like you figure out a
Yeah.
way when you have no other options, you just figure out a way.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let something like no running water stop me. So
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Sweet. So you've been working in there, and does it have basically everything you need, or were there some things that you were like, you know what, like configuration wise, or something that you would have
Yeah,
adjusted?
I would have, if so the plot of land, the part of the land that we have it on, we could only go so like certain dimensions. If I could do it again, I'd probably have it square instead of rectangular. So it's 10 by 20. It's like skinny.
Mhm.
And I maybe would have put the front doors on the 10-foot end, not the 20. It's in the middle of the 20-foot section. So
Yeah.
like, and they're French doors, so they're like full glass French
Oh,
doors, because I wanted that too. But I'm limited on like wall space there, so
right.
Yeah.
that's one of the things I would probably change. And we had no other option with how it was configured, so.
Yeah, because I would imagine once you get tables and stuff in there, it kind of closes it in, and then the doors
Yeah.
on that wall, you can't, you probably can't have one long or two long shelving units, or
Yeah, I have like a rolling baker's rack in front of the door that doesn't have the handle on it, so it pretty much is a wall. Like I never
Mhm.
open that. I don't ever have a reason to open that unless I think we opened it when we moved the kiln in, and it hasn't opened since.
Nice.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's almost worth it because taking apart a kiln is a pain.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't even remember how we got it in there, but I don't think I helped him carry it. I think we brought it in section. We probably brought it in sections, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Ugh.
I can't carry heavy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had some. I feel like I've seen in the past you've had some. Is it like spinal stuff? And that limits? And you said carrying heavy stuff. Is that just because of spinal issues?
Yeah, I had scoliosis, and I was like diagnosed when I was like 14 when they do those physicals at school. And so my parents did chiropractic, and by the time I was 18, they like found these like soft braces that you could get. But by the time I was 18, my muscles and bones had already like fully developed, so the brace would have just kind of kept it where it was. And if I was super religious about doing PT, which who at 18 years old does that?
Yeah.
I could have maybe corrected it a little bit, but I was 18. Also, like wearing that stuff under my clothes at 18, I was like, I hate this. People asked me if I had football pads on.
Where does it go? Like your whole torso? Is that basically what it is?
Yeah, it's pretty much my entire thoracic spine. So it's T2 through L1 is the fusion. So yeah, like fast forward to when I had health insurance, finally, I was like, I'm experiencing all this pain. I need to do something about it. I don't like living like this. So I was like, finally have health insurance. I'm going to go to a doctor. I walk in, he does the x-ray, and he's like, you need surgery. I was like, oh, cool. I was just hoping for some like exercises and therapy and
Guidance to
stuff.
help me to cope a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting, you need very invasive surgery. So I went to a different doctor because I didn't like that guy. And I just opted to have the surgery because it had gotten worse from, my childhood, adolescence or whatever. And so I was like, it's just going to probably keep getting worse. And the pain that I'm experiencing isn't worth it. I'm just going to do it. So I did it. That was 2018. Yeah, that I had the surgery. So it's been a few years, but it's super invasive. There's 2 like titanium rods through my spine and 2 screws in each of those vertebrae that they fuse. So the rods kind of like go through the screws. So yeah, it's been
That's like permanent in there.
tough. Yeah. I mean, I think you can get them removed at some point, but I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't want to have a surgery again.
Wait,
so.
Can you like?
Where's
I
the
can
strain?
bend.
Is it bending forward, or
I have
it
like
side to side kind of?
so I'm limited on how I can move side to side. Like, there's like a maximum like way I can turn. And then bending, so I just like the vertebrae above and below the fusion, they take the brunt of the bending. So that's where I experience pain now, is like right below the fusion, my lower back and everything hurts if I do too much stuff. And my neck hurts a lot of times, like if I'm, carving something or bending, like looking down a lot. So, so side to side, and then bending is just, I'm limited. It's not like super limiting. It's not like I'm not like a board, like a stiff board walking around, but it's definitely different than what I did my life before, because I was pretty active and all that stuff. So it's been an adjustment. But I make it work. I throw standing up though, and that has helped a lot. Yeah. I try to like make sure when I'm doing stuff I elevate it so I'm not looking down too much, or there's only so much you can do, but I try to do the best I can.
Yeah.
So when you started working, were you throwing sitting down?
Yeah. When I learned, I started sitting down. I think it was probably like 5 years ago that I started throwing standing up. Yeah, so before the surgery.
I feel like you're one of the only women that I know that throw standing up. There's not a lot of women that throw standing up.
Yeah, I think everybody should. It's not that hard of an adjustment, I think, to learn. I mean,
and then you can like adjust the height of your wheel and stuff too. Like that can change the amount of power you can generate.
Yeah. I keep mine at the same height, but it would be cool if I could like raise it and lower it, like a standing desk or something.
Yeah.
They have those. The guy that Portland Growler Company, the guy who threw for them, I believe, invented a table that moves up and down for the wheel. And because he throws standing up, if I remember correctly. This was many years ago that I saw this, but it's like a standing desk,
hydraulic or something.
Yeah, and it takes like way more weight than obviously a standing desk, but yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's more variation.
Like really cool stuff.
If you can stand, like, I tend to have the wheel a little bit lower than my navel, so I can get like above it easier. But I don't really throw anything heavier than 1.5 pounds on like 85% of my pieces are 1.5 pounds or less. So like, if you're not throwing huge stuff, I mean, I think everybody can throw standing up.
Yeah.
Incorrect. I could not.
Huh?
Well, if you can physically throw standing up without ankle or feet issues or.
Oh, yeah.
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 Like when I throw it's like at my belly button, so it's like raised as high as it can. Like I sit as low as I can. So it's similar to me standing up, and I have pretty good posture, but it's, yeah, definitely like I couldn't handle standing that long.
Yeah.
Not especially with the pedal. Like the pedal fucks my foot up even when it's just the pedal.
See, I don't use the pedal on the floor though.
Oh, you do it on your
elevate.
hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
on my wheel head, splash pin,
Nice.
tabletop.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
I've
think it
seen
would
you
be-
throw, and yours were like that too, Liz, right?
Yeah, I just switched it. The pedal's now on like the wheel platform or whatever. And I moved I have like a stack of buckets to the right when I'm standing there, and I have my bucket of water on that too now. So,
That's smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have like this interesting kind of configuration around the wheel, and I'm constantly changing it to figure out something better, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have feet problem or knee problem, I could see, standing would be hard.
Yeah.
What if they got little like benches or something? Like maybe if it's against a wall or something, they've got like benches that are just at the right height that you can kind of sit.
Yeah. Yeah, Kristen Kiefer. The first time I saw someone throwing standing was Kristen Kiefer. She had like a blog post about how she does it, and she has this like cool lumbar support against the wall, so it like kind of like a cushion under her butt and then a cushion on her lower back. They're like,
oh, that's smart.
rectangular. Yeah, so she's not like straight up and down standing on her feet. She's got like it's kind of half seated, half standing, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd never built one of those, but maybe I can.
Ryan, one of the production potters at work, he kind of has the same thing where he like put a desk right behind him so he can lean back on the desk, and then he can also just sit up on the desk if he wants to. And I tried I went in there to like help him figure out a shape, and I had to stand on a box of clay just to like get to the wheel. Like I couldn't.
Because he's that tall.
He's not even that much taller than me, but I like had to stand on something just so that I could throw it. It was probably like a 5-pound bowl, so. But.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't throw anything really over like 7 inches tall right now. Like about 4 pounds of clay. So someone asked me if I needed to throw, or like how do I throw tall stuff. I was like, well, I don't, but if I did, I would probably get like a step stool.
Yeah, like an IKEA stool. Those are the shit. Yeah.
I'll make it work.
I have 3 of them.
Nice.
In the studio or just at your house?
I have one in my house, one in the studio, and one at Rebecca's.
You should have one in your car too, just in case you need it.
I know I should. I actually have 2 at my studio. Because I have to take one to shows with me too. And so I got the one that folds up. That's like the foot ladder. It's just like a foot tall and it folds up real easy. That's a lifesaver. I should carry that in my car. That and a mallet. You should always have a mallet.
Yeah, she just got a mallet a few weeks ago. Rachel was putting something shelving together.
Nice. A dry towel too is always good to have in the car.
Yeah. Yep. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Always carry a towel.
Yeah. Random things to carry.
Yeah.
So Liz, you started. Go Becca, go.
I think we have the same question.
What was your question? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say you started slipcasting, and
yes.
Ding ding ding.
Ding ding.
And we were talking about slipcasting versus throwing a couple of weeks ago in one of our episodes, and we were kind of like discussing whether one's faster or not. And I would love to hear your opinion on that and like how the process is going, because I know you went to Kurt's to do the initial mold, right?
I made the original and the first plaster mold on my own, and then he helped me with the mother mold, the silicone part.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had to break it, so he helped me pour like a new plaster mold with it. But yeah, he did help me. He's been a great resource. You know, someone asked, troubleshoot, all the things.
Yeah.
It's nice how open he is about sharing stuff with people. But yeah, so is slip casting faster than throwing? And I think there's a lot of variables, and I think it depends on the person and then how much room you have. So I know we talked about this on our live when Kurt and I did the live, which is probably like what Ryan was thinking, you know. And I heard y'all's episode too a couple weeks back about how like if it was fast, which one was faster. So and I had some thoughts when you guys were talking about it. I think if you are extremely proficient at throwing, like you are, Becca, like, I mean, both of you guys are, but you know, Becca's like your job, full-time job. I think that it's probably faster to throw it. But if you're not a great thrower and you learn how to slip cast and you have a bunch of space for a bunch of molds, I think you would make more mugs or whatever using molds. I just think it's where your skills lie. There's so many different factors play into it, but
yeah,
that's kind of my thought. I think so. If you're like an expert at both, which I think it's probably really hard to be an expert at both of those things, but I don't know. If you had a bunch of space, I still think, and you say you had like 200 molds or 300 molds and employees working for you, then you could probably make more mugs using molds. So, yeah. But if it's just you on your own, throwing probably, if you're an expert at both.
Yeah. So what? Oh, I didn't tell you. I actually talked to Heidi after we had that conversation, and I forgot about this conversation that we had. But we were talking about molds, and I asked her the same question, and because she actually is proficient at both. She used to do production pottery, and then she switched to slip casting because it was less wear and tear on her body, and also I think she just likes it. But she said the key to it is that you have to have as many molds as you can make in an hour. So like if you can make 20 mugs in an hour, you have to have 20 molds of mugs.
You mean if you could throw 20?
Yeah, if you can throw 20 in an hour, you have to have 20 molds because that's going to be like the turnaround, you know? That's what makes it like the same.
Yeah. So, and then you have to factor in too, so if it's mugs, like is your mold include the handle or you have to pour the handle separately? And then if it's just you doing all of that stuff, you have to catch, like you can't just pour 100 molds and go through and like do all the handle attachments and all the cleanup and stuff, like because stuff will dry. The stuff when you start back at like mold number 1 and work your way up, the mold number 50 or however many through 100 is gonna start drying too fast, and you just don't have enough time to get to those, so those will all be like fucked up. So that's just being the one person with all those molds. That would be a lot of, you wouldn't be able to do it by yourself. You'd have to have a team of people.
That'd be a lot. Yeah. How has the mold situation been going for you? Because you have a mold for your planters, right? It's your hanging planter.
Yeah. Hanging in like a small table, so it works with both. It'll work with both. I actually have it here. This is one of the first ones.
Show and tell.
Wow, that's so nice.
Yeah, this is just like a tester. I was testing different slip casting clays, but it's been going okay. I think it would go a lot better if I wasn't trying to do something that's not really for slip casting. So I want the speckled clay effect that I have on all my stuff, but they don't make a speckled casting slip, at least not one that looks like the speckled buff that I was using. So there's been a lot of issues with that, trying to get that effect. So what I've been doing is making casting slip with the speckled buff, but I just brush it on the inside of the mold, and then and then I pour in our actual casting slip, and that makes up the bulk of the piece. But it's just pretty much like brushing on slip on the outside of a pot, but I'm doing it beforehand.
Oh.
So
Nice.
yeah, but I think there's still like some issues there because it's not casting slip, so it's absorbing differently in the mold, causing a little bit of warping and stuff. So still troubleshooting it a little bit. But
So do you have to do that like one at a time, like paint it on, pour it, paint it on, pour it?
Well,
for timing reasons?
No, you can. So you could do. There is like a limit. I've been doing 5. I have 10 molds, so I've been doing 5 at a time. So I'll paint 5, pour 5. Set the timer, and then like 20, 30 minutes later, I'll do the same. Paint the slip, pour those 5, and then by the time I dump the first 5 and let them drain, I can they're done. I can take them off and dump the next 5, and yeah.
Okay.
Repeat. So it's weird.
Why don't they have speckled casting slip?
I don't know. I think it's probably because it's hard to get the speckles, like it's manganese, to suspend.
Okay.
In the casting slip. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't they have a gray clay in the United States? It's actually good.
I know.
Nobody knows. Like,
I've seen Canadian clays are like fucking sweet, and I'm like, I want that.
I know. Somebody told me that. Oh yeah, Fledgling Studios has a gray clay, and it's beautiful. It's beautimous.
Yeah.
And then I just got this cup from Old Forge Creations, and his is like a gray, brownish gray, and it's so nice looking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I don't know. Maybe it's just our resources. Maybe we don't have the same.
You should text Link. You should message Link and be like, Link, can you please make us a speckled casting slip?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
She's working on a great clay.
Do they have casting slip
nice.
at Kentucky Mudworks?
I think so. I don't know.
I know Laguna is a pretty popular casting slip company, but I don't know about Kentucky. I don't know if Kentucky Mudworks has like their own casting slip.
Let me look.
I haven't looked because getting stuff from the East Coast is expensive here.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the inside of this one. This was one of the slips I tried. It's called Moroccan. You probably can't see that well. It's called Moroccan sand, so it's a gray brown.
Yeah.
What's the bottom
really
look
nice. Like? Oh, yeah, that'd be better.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks just kind of brown, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
pretty
like smooth.
Yeah, it's super smooth. I like the look, and I was like, that'd be cool if I could get speckles in that. Like, I'd be okay with that. And yeah, I tried it, and they just all sink. Like, even if I can stir it up before I pour it, while it's sitting in the mold casting, the speckles, they sink. So I don't know if like the grit was or the mesh was too high. They were too big. The particles were too big. But I feel like if they're smaller, they're just gonna like mix in and not look speckled.
Have you? Oh wait, is that what you just said? You put Have you put manganese in the casting slip? Yeah, that's what you just said.
Yeah.
I was listening, but not really. I'm looking for. I'm looking for casting slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that.
Yeah,
I think they sell Laguna maybe on their website, but I don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
Casting slip. Yeah, it was even hard to find. So that Moroccan sand, the one that is on this piece, I tried that with the same technique of coating speckled buff on the inside of the mold and then pouring that, and the shrinkage was different. So I was getting like these tiny like fissure like cracks, and it was just hard to find a casting slip that had the same shrinkage as a speckled buff. But I found one. It was just B-Mix. The B-Mix casting slip has the same, but yeah. So it's kind of
the
weird.
shrinkage rates in different clays is kind of interesting with the casting slip because that.
Well, can you I guess because you want that look, like the speckled buff look, because B-Mix has a speckled B-Mix. Like
yeah. I could. Well, I don't know if they make that in casting slip though.
No. I wonder if they have it in dry mix and then you can make your own.
Yeah, like it's worth it.
And I wonder if like I still don't think it would be quicker though to like cast it and then take it out and then have like your assistant paint them with the speckled slip on the outside. Like, would that be any faster on like a banding wheel? Because you could actually let it set up a little bit to where it's more absorbent.
Yeah, and it might fix
I
the
don't
warping
know.
issue. The only thing with that is like once I turn the speckled buff into a like casting slip, it's really gritty. Like,
Yeah.
and so brushing it on, like it's
just-
even worse than brushing on regular
It doesn't look
slip.
clean.
Yeah, it's like super sandy. So like when I brush it on the mold, it's super smooth, like even smoother than if I throw it and rib it and everything.
Oh, right, because the mold is perfectly
Because it's a
smooth.
mold,
Super
yeah.
smooth. Yeah, but brushing it on after the fact, it's like you just see like tiny bits of sand everywhere.
true.
So and I thought about like maybe I could dip it, but then that's a whole other.
Yeah,
You
it's
have to
an
get timing right for the
interesting
drying.
problem.
Yeah, so I'm like, haven't seen anybody do this, which is like, it'll be sweet when I figure out how to do it, because like, then I'll have that knowledge and share it with people. But I haven't seen anyone doing that, and nobody knows anything about it or whatever. At least not that I found. I'm sure there's someone out there that's.
What if you
Right.
poured it in the mold and like kind of swirl it around like you're glazing the inside of a pot? Does that do
did.
any different?
I did that too, but it also has like the absorption issues with and like it gets thicker in certain parts and thinner in other parts. It's just such a pain. I've thought of
so much troubleshooting and figuring this is.
Yeah, I'm sure I haven't thought of everything, but I've thought of a lot, and this is the solution that I've come up with. Yeah, for now, and I'm still figuring it out, honestly.
I have a question. Are you opposed to the B mix color?
I like the toasty brown of the speckled buff, like the tan.
Okay.
Yeah, so like white clay, I don't know.
It's a good earthy for her colors though, Becca. I think it's like.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I was just asking.
Yeah. No, I thought about that. I was like, would I be okay with white? Or would I just be fine with like plain white or like whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It needs the speckles, and I really like that toasty.
Yeah.
Buff color.
I was just thinking, I wonder if you could apply the manganese into the mold with not clay. You know what I'm saying? Like spray it in to the mold just like with water, and then put the casting slip in. And then I wonder if the speckles would, stick.
That'd be kind of cool. I could try that. I haven't tried the manganese with just the white either. Like if I mixed it in, it would probably do the same sinking thing, but.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to see if you could just spray straight manganese into it and see what, because manganese is pretty fine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I use Dark Star from Kentucky Mudworks, and it is so aggressively speckly. It is like, it's like there's so many speckles. I'm like, damn.
Aggressively speckly. I did try that once. I have some. I made some pieces with it. It's nice, but yeah, it is. There's a ton of speckles.
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like the first one that I did was not that intense, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to think. It'd be cool to just try some shit and see what happens, like with not the speckled buff and just like, yeah.
And I don't know if we covered it, but what was the intention behind the slip casting?
Oh yeah, so, over the last like year or two, I've had quite a few retail shops reach out to me through Instagram that wanted wholesale work. And when I first started, like when I still had that full-time remote job, I took on some wholesale stuff because I was like, oh yeah, you want wholesale? Like
I could just sit in my studio and just make the same thing.
Yeah, I was like,
it's gonna go somewhere immediately.
That's cool. The shop wants to stock my stuff. Like, sweet. So I was like, yes, I'll do it. And then I did quite a few orders, and I was like, that's ridiculous for how much work I like. The kind of stuff that I'm making, it's not like production work. I'm carving the pieces, I'm hand painting on glazes and all that
Mhm.
stuff, like 3 coats of each glaze color. And so I quickly learned that I should not do wholesale with that style. And so I just started telling people, like, sorry, I can't, I'll put your name on a wait list, and I can't accept wholesale customers right now. And I had some shops in town, like people that I know personally, that are really nice, and I do consignment with them, so they're just like, whenever you can get us stuff, like, cool. And so I like even simplified my throne work and the way I glazed it and stuff for them, so they don't get the kind of work that I post on my website and stuff. But that's the only stuff I sell right now that's like anywhere close to wholesale. And I felt like I was leaving money on the table by saying no to all these people. So I was like, how do I solve that problem? How do I meet those needs? And I wanted that revenue stream too. So I was like, maybe I'll do molds. And teaching someone to cast molds is a lot easier than teaching someone how to throw the way that I throw and stuff. So like I could hire a production potter, but and like that's still an option. I might
Or
do
have
that
them
one day,
do the
but
glazing for you or something like that.
yeah, even
Because
that
that seems like the most time intensive part, right? The colors
Yeah.
and doing the glazing.
But even for wholesale, I had to like figure out a line, like how I'm gonna change like how I glaze the stuff. Even like it's not gonna be the carved shapes and geometric stuff. It's like
Just solid colors and like,
yeah, like solid colors, two glazes, like dip the top half, dip the bottom half. So pretty simplified stuff. But like I also didn't want to throw. I don't enjoy making the same thing over and over. Like that's not like I get bored easily, so I like to make different things and try different stuff. So I was like, I don't want to just throw all the pieces and then even have someone else glaze them. So I was like,
your
if
aesthetic is pretty tight too, like the
Mhm.
lines and it looks
Yeah.
very similar from one to the next. Like it's not as loose.
Yeah.
Like myself, how we throw.
Yeah. So like having someone else throw it, like I could maybe have that, and that's still something I'm considering if the mold thing is just a complete flop. But yeah, even the wholesale, the way I'm gonna glaze them is gonna be kind of tight because I'm still taping a line and all that stuff. So they'll be like very like tight, even precise lines and stuff. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to have a way to make the work that I didn't have to actually make myself. So like after the mold system is kind of like in production, then I want to hire someone that can do it for me pretty much.
Right.
yeah.
Pour them, do pretty much everything start to finish, like pour them, clean them up, put the tape on, glaze them, pack them, and ship them. So that way, like, yeah, I wouldn't be making everything that I could make if I did it myself, but it's worth it for me to like have the freedom to work on the stuff that I really want to make, which is more intricate, time-consuming pieces that are going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Can I just say, I commend you on your planter, and here's the reason why. Not because I mean it's a basic
it's super
planter.
basic, yeah.
It's a super basic planter, but you did not miss the mark of having to get like, I think that something I didn't understand when I started making planters was that it is really, really nice to have a planter that you can fit the plastic plant holder inside of.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, if you make one that's like 3 and 7, like 3.75 inches, it can't fit the 4-inch planter, like plastic planter that comes from the store in it. And if you can put it in like what you have and it's like hiding, then you have made a successful planter, because you can just put it in there and it's your drip tray and all those things. And that is not something that I understood until my wholesaler was like, it would be really nice if this happened. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I've heard that either, but it makes sense, right? It keeps
Yeah,
the
and
pot
so
clean too, right? You could swap plants and
exactly. And the plants usually hide itself, it usually hides the plastic pot holder. But yeah, I think that's if you are making planters, keep that in mind when you're doing
Yes.
it. Calculate that into your shrink rate because that actually does matter. And if you are going towards wholesalers, you can be like, yo, this 2-inch planter, you can put the 2-inch like little
Yes.
plastic thingy inside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they make
yeah,
those in like the different sizes. So yeah, there's like I don't know, exactly the small one, like 2-inch. It's
yeah,
like a 4-inch. There's a 6-inch.
and an
Yeah.
8-inch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So they
Yeah,
kind of go in increments of 2, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, that is one thing I thought about, and I also thought about it when I was like photographing the planters, because I'm not gonna plant a plant in every planter I'm gonna sell. So I was like, I need something that I can like pick up and move from
right.
planter to planter. And I
yeah,
was like, I can see the plastic. I hate that. So I'm like, I need to make it bigger. Oh, I'm sure people would like that too. You know, like
yeah.
when they go and
You
buy a
figured it
plant.
out on your own.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't, I mean, you can, but a lot of people don't want you to make planters without a hole anyway. Even if you explain to them what you just did about the plastic thing. It's like the planter can be the catch tray, like catch dish, and you just put the
Yeah.
plastic thing in there. But people are like, no, it has to have drainage, and that's like 90% of people, and they just don't know. I don't know.
So yours don't have drainage holes?
Mine do, yeah,
Yours do.
because people are like adamant
Assholes.
about having it. But it would be cool. Maybe I could sell some that didn't, just for the people that
Yeah.
know what's going on.
And then if you have the hole, then they're like, do you have a tray that can go under it? And then like,
Yeah.
are you willing to pay for this tray? Even though the tray is like, it's important, but it does cost money to buy this tray, and people might not want to
yeah, it's
pay
like
for
it's a plate. Like no one likes throwing plates.
Yeah, it's like you have to charge,
yeah.
14 or 15 bucks at least for this tray, and it's like it's just catching water, but like it's essential if you don't want to leak it everywhere,
Yeah. This summer I've decided that that's how I'm going to make my money. Garden stakes and plant catch trays.
That's
I'm
smart.
just going to
Yeah.
I'm going to go to farmers markets and I'll have a few planters, but the trays, that's what I'm going to sell.
You could totally slab build those too. Like
I do. I have I have a whole slab built, like I have all my molds that are the perfect size. Like one's a 4-inch, one's 2-inch. I even have up to 12 inches. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I had a customer,
I
I
can't
think that
believe
I
it.
kept saying trays, and a customer or somebody just on social was like, it's not a tray, it's called a saucer.
Oh,
You can't
fuck
say
off.
planter tray. You can't say plant tray, it's a saucer.
Salsa.
It is not. I can't believe that I sold. Do you want to guess how? I think I've said this before, but I sold that 12-inch planter plate for $15 wholesale.
A 12-inch saucer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know how
$1 an
big it was?
inch.
It was this big. It was this big.
Oh my god.
I'm like, here, let me just give you $50.
Yeah. You give them money to take it off your hands.
Yeah. That's the.
And I could only fire
wholesale.
6 at a time.
Yeah. That's another thing with the big stuff, like big planters, big trays. No. I'm gonna once I like figure out the small planter situation, I'm gonna make a big planter, like a 6-inch planter. It's not that big, but for slip casting, because I know that people want the bigger sizes. I feel like that's just gonna be even worse with the warping though. So. Yeah.
I wonder why it's warping. Like, I mean, is it just because of the clay? Like, have you done them without the clay to see if they would warp?
I think I did one. I should do more. But it could also be user error. Like it could be me. Like maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I've tried different things. Like I've tried like trimming the like gallery or whatever spare that overflow part off earlier versus later. Yeah, I've tried a few different things, casting them thicker, like that's obvious, I think, to make them less warpy.
Is is it warping? Is the warp aligning with the holes that you're putting in?
No, because it's even on like the regular table planters where I just put the one hole in the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, I have like another round of tests that I haven't like fired to completion. So I'm like, once those come out, then I'll have some more information, I think. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So besides the planners, what are the other kind of forms that you specialize in or that you focus on making quite a bit?
Tons, or a lot of mugs. I'd say tons. I think I probably get like half and half people that want planners and mugs. Those are the main things I make. I just started doing spoon rests within the last like few months. Those are popular, which is, I didn't think they would be, but
yeah,
they are.
I didn't realize
you did. Seen Ryan's?
Yeah. I know.
Well, Liz was just in the pre-order on them, and she had all these designs, and I was like, oh man, I wonder, you're doing pre-order, and I asked you like, how many have you sold? And I think you said like 40 something, and I was like, holy shit. Is that what it was?
It was like, I ended with 31.
Or 30, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the price on them.
Close.
I think 42 is the price on them.
42
right?
is the price, yeah.
42.
So I sold 31.
Wow. A $42 spoon rest?
Killing
it. Yeah.
They're you know, my shit's like takes forever to glaze. So
yeah,
like
they're very design heavy.
The throwing them is not hard. Like it's pretty quick.
Right.
But I do have to trim them. And then, I have to I glaze the underside white. I have to brush that on because of the way I do the top. So I have to take the top and
so it's a speckled white on the bottom, or the white because the glaze.
White, yeah. Yeah, but that's like it's a dip glaze. The white's not the stroke and coat, but I did stroke and coat on the top with different.
Stroke and coats are fucking expensive too, so.
Yeah, yes they are. But I did I've made a handful of colorful, very comparable dip glazes using mason stains. So that was for the wholesale stuff. I don't know if I'll even use them for my more fancy work, I guess. They're harder to brush on and get precise, you know.
Becca, you have your hand up.
I think you can add CMC gum solution to it and it'll brush, but I hear you though. I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, I bought some. I haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna try it just to see if I can turn my dip glazes into brushing glazes, and if I can, then I'm gonna do that. But
yeah, do you know what we could also do is we could just convince Mako to sponsor both of us.
Fuck yeah. Jesus. I tag them in so many things. Like, hello.
Some accounts are on it with a social media. Some accounts are not.
Yeah.
We just need a call. I just need to call Mako and be like, here's the deal. John the Potter is going out. He's, you know what? He's old news. He's old news.
He doesn't promote the stroke and coats, though. They need someone to help the stroke and coats.
We could promote the stroke and coats. I can promote the fundamentals. We've got all of the elements. All of the elements going on here. And you know what? Women are really in right now.
You need to get a classy name with the stroke and coats. You need a classy something.
Yeah, like a catchphrase or something. I mean, I feel like the name Stroke and Coat is not great.
Yeah, they could have done better.
What were they thinking? This is I think it was made for kids too.
Right, because it was made for paint your own pottery. You know, that's what it was made for.
Yeah.
Not for potters with really dirty minds.
Right. Yeah, I feel gross saying that to people that don't know ceramic stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's called Stroke and Coat. What? Yeah. Anyways.
So you're in the time now of fulfilling the pre-orders of the spoon rest now?
Yeah, I gave 4 to 6 weeks to make them and send them out. So I'll probably throw them towards the end of this week. It's my goal, or maybe do 10 a day. Cause that's you know, I could get that done this week if I do 10 a day. And then the glazing is what's going to take some time, but
So is that pretty much
Yeah.
how you're focusing your time like right now? Is like, okay, you build up, pre-order, set, like, okay, now my schedule's made for the next couple weeks kind of deal?
No,
Or
I feel like I have a lot of different things going on. So I'm like working on stuff for the next shop update right now too. So I try to alternate. At least that's kind of what I started doing pre-orders, I think, in August of last year. And I'm trying to alternate them, like pre-order, like 3 to 4 weeks later do a shop update, or maybe 4 weeks later do a shop update, and then I can kind of pack them and ship them at once. Do all the packing and shipping for the pre-orders and the shop update at once. So, but like having that, so like people can do the shop update, and if they miss stuff, then hey, there's a pre-order a few weeks later. Start the pre-order, and by the time I'm done and ready to ship that, I'm doing a shop update as well. So it kind of alternates like that, and it's working out pretty good with that kind of system. So I'm still like I have greenware, I have stuff to throw still for my shop update, and I have stuff to glaze for the shop update. So
do you end up having extras from the pre-order that you like put in the shop update too?
Yeah, I typically make a few extras of each like variety or whatever, and yeah, if nothing gets fucked up, then they just go in the shop update, or I might save them. I haven't really been saving them, but I might save them for like another shop update when I'm like pinched for time and I don't have as many pieces that I would like to have for one of those.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm still like figuring out all of the business stuff out as I go.
Do you find success with the shop updates to focus on mugs this time and then planters this time, or do you try to do like a mix of different things in single updates?
I've tried both, and I've had success with both, but I think what I like doing and what other people probably appreciate more is having a variety of things, because there's some people that are like, I don't need more mugs, I want planters.
So they just tune out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like, I've maybe missed, or they might move on to someone else in the next like 8 weeks or whatever till I do a shop update with what they actually want. So yeah, I try to do a mix of both, and it's nice to work on different things too. So I'm not doing 50 planters in a month or whatever.
Do you feel? I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, you're good.
Do you feel like you? I feel like this sometimes, and I don't know if you feel like this because you have like 25,000 followers. I have 10. You have 30 something. You're above us.
But I probably sell way less than you all, honestly. Like y'all do shop updates and you sell like 70% of your stuff probably. I sell like
because they just
10%.
But you do the markets and stuff.
And you fucking kill at markets. Like, let's be realistic here,
okay.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I just get overwhelmed and I'm like, man, why do these online updates not do well? But it's deceiving because you like look at it and it's like, okay, like a lot of people are looking, but like they're just, I think they like the things I show more than the things I sell, or they could be learning the technique.
I think they're learning. I think you're a teacher now. Just give into it. Okay, so I have 2 questions. One, do you feel like I sometimes feel like I'm just gonna run out of people. Like when you do an update like every month, you're like, oh my god, is there gonna be enough people to like
give
me
same
money?
People come back?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have enough variety?
Ryan's mom buys so much pottery from me, like.
I think she had a new fancy. Yeah, I used one of your new fancy cups or something, or she had a new dot cup.
You're like, when Ryan's mom has enough of my pots, am I gonna sell anything?
Am I gonna sell anything?
I do. Yes, I do have that feeling for sure, because I have some a good handful of repeat customers, and then one of my friends' moms just like buys so much stuff. I'm like, well, she like bought like 4 or 5 spoon rests from me. And I'm like,
but I think they tend to gift some things though.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't need 5 spoon rests. Nobody needs more than 1, maybe 2 if you have like you need to wash the other one or whatever. But I have that.
Ryan's.
Yeah, I don't think you need more personally. I don't. You just wash it really quick and put it back. But yeah, I do get scared. That's why I'm like, I still need to grow my following because I need more people that want to buy stuff. But I don't know. At the same time, I'm like, I don't want to rely on Instagram for everything. And that's why I'm doing the wholesale stuff too, because I'm like, I need another revenue stream, because staying up with the Instagram stuff is like wearing on me mentally, and I just don't want to put as much effort into it. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna put some effort into something else that can be like, I call it passive, but
but even if it's just like 5%
passive.
of your income, like you can, as long as you kind of hone those skills, you can see the trajectory, like the growth potential. That if you're like, okay, I think I ironed out enough kinks that it's not going to completely overwhelm me to like jump into this new avenue.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, once it's rocking and rolling, and I have an employee like making that stuff for me, I feel like it's just going to open up a whole new money revenue stream, whatever you want to call it.
And I think I do more like consignment than wholesale probably, but the one thing that I like with the consignment is as you see stuff sell, like as I prep my next order, I can feel confident that whatever I'm prepping, especially if I have flexibility of what I deliver, like I know that it's got a good chance of selling because it's sold in the past.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't feel as bad. And then I'm like slowly bumping my prices up over time as my stuff is getting better. So I'm gonna start getting more money from that when they sell, and I can also like deliver different things that like I go to a show, I don't really sell vases, but if I take them to this one shop, they sell vases there, and I'm like, I don't know, people are buying these like $70 vases. I don't sell them at shows at all, so it's like, hey, I'll make some for fun, and they'll take them and sell them. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It all kind of, I think it exponentially kind of grows. Like it starts small and slow, and then gradually you're like, oh wow, okay, cool. This is it's doing something.
I think that you are really like I think that you're smart in the fact that you're wholesaling planters and not like mugs and stuff, because plants are the future. Plants are the future of pottery, and like they're the past too. Plants are the past and the future, not the present, but it's
timeless.
Like plants are timeless. Like the guy that I learned pottery from had one account that kept them in business. One account. And that was like his primary account, and all he made was fucking planters. 2-inch planters, 4-inch planters, 6-inch planters, 8-inch, 10-inch, 13-inch, 15-inch.
Nice.
Like, what the fuck? And they all had like attached drip trays, right?
Oh, cool.
And like they're super basic ass country pottery planters. Yeah. And they're still going. And I think that plants aren't going anywhere. People are getting more obsessed with plants. They're not getting less obsessed.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Especially if your vibe fits like a certain age group and demographic, that like your vibe kind of fits the, I don't know what your demographic is generally, but it seems kind of like a 20 to 40 kind of age range is kind of that color scheme demographic.
Yeah, and it's just, I think it's really smart to go with plants for wholesale as opposed to anything else. Anyway, that's what I was saying. Also, I think if you do get into drip trays, Rebecca does drip trays that aren't even glazed. She just fucking fires them.
Yeah. I thought about doing that, or just like doing the white, like on the interior.
Yeah, just like simple.
Kind of match.
That's what I used to do. I used to do white on the inside, and people bought them up by the dozens.
Nice.
Yeah, I have some with that speckled clay. I use Laguna 608, so it's kind of like the speckled buff, but it's probably a little darker maybe. But I have a batch of saucers on my Etsy, and I do have some speckled without glaze on them, and they sell decent. Like they're probably about 20% of the ones that sell, or 30% of the ones that sell. So, nice. And they're super easy to just throw them in a kiln and just stack up like 4 of them at a time, and
that's
glaze
true.
fire it, and they look pretty cool. Like it's toasty, and it looks nice when it's just raw clay.
You throw them too?
Yeah.
Do you trim them also? Or?
No, those are
Oh,
like
okay.
30 seconds thrown and
Oh, nice.
30-second cleanup.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's smart.
Ryan doesn't trim anything.
I try not to trim anything
I
except
figured
bowls.
not. Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna sell a pot with all like the way I do my stuff, like I need to like probably trim some plates and have
You are correct.
yeah, it needs to
Yeah,
match.
yours is a
If I have
lot
like a
cleaner.
wonky, even a hand built, I don't think I could do a hand built one with a thrown pot because it'll like have like a slight warpy little like funkiness, but like which is fine. But with the pot that I'm putting it with, I think it needs to be like just as tight. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I could offer that as like a made to order. I'm sure there's a lot of people that
Ah!
like have a planter of mine that would like to have a drip tray with it. So I could do like a made to order thing maybe every 6 months or something.
Well, eventually you could start pouring drip trays.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want to like expand the slip casting line for sure. And maybe do mugs one day, like slip cast, but yeah, I'm starting with just planters for now.
Yeah, because the outsides of your mugs are super smooth for the most
Mhm.
part, unless it's the ones that are kind of like ribbed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. I don't know. I can't think about that right now. Like I have so many ideas in my head. I'm like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, the form of your pieces, like the mugs and the planters, it all kind of calls out like slipcast, but it's not.
Yeah,
At least to me, it does. Where
yeah,
it's
because
like
it's
super
smooth
clean,
and yeah,
smooth. But it's got the speckle look, so it's like it's not.
yeah,
But it's cool how you can, like Becca was saying, you just simplify it down to like planters wholesaling, like that you can get down to 3 different forms that primarily like drive your business.
yeah,
It's like, hey, if you sell it and you enjoy making it, like do it.
yeah,
There's potential out there.
totally. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's so many plant shops everywhere that I feel like I'll have enough business with just that I may not even need to do mugs ever. I don't know if I will. I mean, I'll make
I'm
them
actually,
to sell on my website, but I won't wholesale them, maybe.
yeah. Somebody asked me recently, they're like, will you make mugs? Like fancy mugs? And I was like, absolutely not. You will be waiting
I feel like
forever.
a
Forever
a
is a
handle would
very long
degrade that.
time.
Like it wouldn't look right with a handle on that.
No,
Like
you couldn't even, well, and it
Yeah.
wouldn't even be right. Anyway, my next question
Yeah.
was, how is how is full time going for you? Like financially, do you feel like you're doing well? Like you don't have to tell us the numbers, but I want to know if you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
comfortable and like if you or do you feel like you're kind of like like you're trying to like chasing, you know?
It's going okay. It's not terrible and it's not amazing. I
Okay.
would say I'm fortunate in that our house is set up. We have an in-law suite. Like when we bought it, it's like there's pretty much 2 homes connected. Like think of a duplex, but there's a entryway in between each one. So we have an in-law suite. We rent that out on Airbnb. We have it separated now. Like we don't see people, but so that helps my income level significantly. If I didn't have that, I would be struggling for sure right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But all of that to say is the reason I was able to go full time was because of that, with the hopes that like I would be making like an actual full income from my ceramics eventually. And that's kind of what I'm working towards now. And I want to like be someone that can employ people too. I want to give jobs in this industry if I can, even if it's just like 1 or 2 people. So that's kind of where I'm heading towards, but I'm lucky and fortunate that I'm able to like grow at this rate, because I couldn't have just gone full time when I did if I didn't have the income from our rental. Yeah, it was all kind of calculated in a way. Like I got a full-time job at a different place, like a hospital, and that allowed us to buy this house. And then, I had enough money to like build the studio and stuff, and then got the remote job and all that stuff. So it's kind of like, it's all like kind of calculated in a way. Like I take risks, but not like they're calculated risks. So,
Ooh, my mom tells me that I'm a calculated risk taker.
Oh, nice. You're like, I have enough information to know that like this should be a good thing, but
Yeah.
I don't have as much stuff to back me up, tangible stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of faith in myself too. That
I mean, it
when
seems like
shit hits the fan, I'll make it work.
it seems like the steady jobs in the past have kind of financed you to be able to like get the loan to build the studio and to put the down payment for the house and stuff.
Yeah.
To get you kind of set up so that you're just okay. Can I make the payments and keep up with the debt or whatever that you still have?
Yeah. And so far it's worked out. Before I quit my full-time job, I was like, I want to have $20,000 in my bank account before I do that, because that will give me enough of a cushion to like be able to like catch my feet or whatever that term is. So like
Have
stay
a runway.
afloat. Yeah, have a runway. So
I've never
like,
heard that before. I like it.
yeah, I stay
You need a nice
afloat.
runway before you take off.
Yeah. So, and it did that. And this year I'm feeling it tax-wise. Like, I didn't pay estimated taxes this year because I don't know why. I just didn't want to.
They didn't make you
I
do
could
it
have.
at the
I
end
just
of last
didn't.
year.
Yeah, I just didn't. And so I was like, oh, sweet. So I'm seeing like over $7,000 like leave my bank account. I'm like,
Yeah, I did that last year or 2 years ago. I was like,
not fun.
I paid off a loan that was $20,000 in 2 installments at the end of 2020. And because I sold all of like, it was planned, right? Like I took out the EIDL loan, and then it was for $25,000, and then I paid off like 5, and then I sold everything in my studio so I could pay off. I literally had to pay off the loan before the business went out. Like that's what they like say you have to do. And I paid over the phone. And and the guy was like, I was like, can I pay $10,000 on this? And he's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, well, fuck it. Yes. Like,
he's like, it's 10000, not 1000.
are you sure
And
the
I'm
number
like-
you called is right?
right. Like, are you sure this isn't a scam?
That's awesome.
Make sure I called you. You didn't call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary AF to like let go that much money for sure.
Yeah. I'm also like kind of person that like, yes, I'm a calculated risk taker, but I know myself enough that if I like commit to doing something, I'm gonna figure out a way to make it work, and it like lights a fire under my ass, so I can, like even like the wholesale stuff. Before I like had ever done wholesale, I was like, sure, yeah, I can give you 40 mugs like that. And I was like, I've never done that before, but I'm gonna figure it out. And even if I have to stay up till 5 a.m. every night, like I'll do it. So that's kind of how I approach things. Like it's calculated, yes, but I also know how I am under pressure, and I come through. It's not always fun though, so I don't want to do that much, but trying to be better about that.
Yeah. So if you're under pressure, are you like a cut back on expenses and cut back on things, or is it more like I'm gonna ramp up and work harder to make more money to make up for what I need?
It's kind of both. Yeah, like I'll cut, and then like cutting back on expenses just happens because I'm working a shit ton, so I don't have like time to go out or whatever. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, that's how I approach stuff. I've been really good at saving. Like I don't know why, it's the Jew in me, Cohen. Cohen is a last name. I'm Jewish heritage, so I can say that. Cohen's a very Jewish last name, and I always joke about my Jewishness.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I guess it makes sense. I was just singing that if I was a rich man at work the other day.
Nice.
Because that's like one of my favorite songs, like of
Yeah.
musicals, just because he's so crazy in it. He's just like,
Yeah.
if I were a rich man, la di da di da di da.
Okay, I was thinking of the Gwen Stefani song, but that's the
Oh.
girl,
No,
which
she
I'm
ripped
guessing
it.
is taken
She ripped
on
off Fiddler
that.
on the Roof. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fiddler on the Roof. I should watch that again. I think I was going to point out that I think it's a good lesson here. You have shown a good lesson. Like, I think that a lot of newbie potters, first of all, here's another, can we also point out that you are another potter that it took probably 7 years, 8 years to get going and start selling,
Yeah.
and start like selling online. And there's a ton of people nowadays that are starting to sell a lot earlier and getting frustrated when they don't get the success that they feel they need, but they haven't had like the time invested.
Yeah.
I feel, as
Yeah.
I see. But also, I think that it goes to show that like, you compromise the whole way up,
Yeah.
through this, like restaurant jobs, the hospital job, the doing all these things, and also like making sure you had backups. And I don't feel like we see that a lot now, in the younger generation. And I
Yeah.
think that can be looked like, it's a good example, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to do full-time pottery right away,
Right.
you know?
And I think, well, I think it's probably even more common for younger people or people just starting out to think that they're going to get success really quickly or really early or whatever, because social media just makes it seem that way, because what you see is a lot of success stories. You don't see behind the scenes, like, people grinding, like working their other jobs and all that stuff. Like, all you see is, well, for the most part, all you see is like, oh, thanks everyone, I just sold out, la la la, like, that's cool and everything, but like they don't see leading up to that, like what it took to get there, or even if that's legit. Like, I used to say that to Nate. I'm like, how do these people, like, I would, bitch about, like, oh, I don't think their work is very great. I don't see how they're selling out all the time. And Nate, my partner, would be like, maybe they're not. And maybe they're just saying they are because they want to build hype. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, that seems weird that if people would do that, but maybe there are people out there that do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people just see it happening so much that they're like, well, obviously it happens to people, so why can't it happen to me? But they just don't see the big picture. They don't see the full story behind everybody's, like, struggle. Like, when I was, right before my surgery, I sold my car. And Nate and I have always shared a car. I sold it, or I junked it because it was all fucked up. But I took the bus to work after my surgery. Like, it was an hour each way, and like, I like tear up on my way to work because I'm like, I hate this job so much. And on the way back, same shit. And like, I would spend that time planning also too, like drawing out my studio plans and all this stuff. Like, people don't see that kind of stuff going into all of this. They just see the success, and it's like, no, why would I post the shitty stuff? No one wants to see the shitty stuff. No one wants to be like bummed out by that, but it happens. And I guarantee you, everyone that has success has those kinds of stories, like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, there's always a hidden plan for sure. I think that, like, especially if you are making money on the interwebs, like, you have to be in control of your shit. You have to You
Yeah.
have to understand, or even doing like the shows like Ryan does, like you have to know what the fuck you're doing, or else you're not gonna last very long.
Yeah. You have to know kind of what you're doing and also be disciplined and show up even when you don't want to show up, you know? And
And like
also like know when to
self-critique and see like what works, what doesn't work, and kind of treat it with a analytical eye versus like a taking it
Yeah.
emotional. Why, you
Mhm.
take a bunch of stuff and like certain things just don't sell, and you're just
Yeah.
like, you can't like blame the customer for that. It's like you
Right?
put
Yeah.
out what's possible, you see what works with people, what doesn't work, and then you kind of tweak and experiment and
Yeah.
take something away from it that is useful.
Yeah. Trying to have as much of an objective viewpoint on your stuff as you can, I think, is helpful. It's hard to have a completely objective outlook on it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I often like if another potter buys my work, like Amy Brummond bought 2 fancy pots for me the last update, and I messaged her and I was like, could you please critique me?
Yes.
I was like, please be brutal. I want you to tell me exactly what you think. And she's like, well, I can't really say anything except it's too big. And I was like, perfect. That's what I need to know.
Your
It was too
like
big for her.
primary fancy cup,
She has tiny hands.
Oh, okay.
and there's nothing
Yeah.
to help grip besides the dots on it, right?
Yeah.
But it's also smooth, so
Mm.
Oh my God. Liz, I was going to tell you. So, you know how you've been firing your pieces to glaze and then putting the stroking coats on and then doing bisque?
Yeah, I do that with like just the polka dot ones though. Yeah.
Yeah, the polka dots, yeah. I did that with my new polka dot cups.
Nice.
Like, I sanded them, so I sanded them first so they're all super fucking smooth, and then I did the polka dots on and then I bisqued them, and they didn't get unsmooth, which would happen if you'd glazed it. And so anyway,
Right. Oh, okay. That's
yes.
cool. Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I wonder why that happens. Probably because like nothing's shrinking anymore. Like it's gone to glaze temp.
Right.
So there's
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
left to shrink. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
because the manganese like pops out every time it does like a glaze firing.
Oh yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to do a single firing. Because I think you could do like a single firing first with no glaze or anything on it, and then
Potentially,
just
yeah.
biscuit, I guess. What about the inside of those though? You
still have to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
could stroke and coat the inside green, then fire it to glaze temp, single fire it, and then add the dots and then bisque fire it. Right?
You would think. I can't, but you could. So you could. I
Okay.
can't because I have to, between the bisque and the glaze, I sand the piece. So
Okay.
the piece is actually sanded twice. So once after bisque and then once after glaze. And so and that step is super crucial because if I don't sand it at bisque stage, it takes 4 fucking ever to sand it at glaze.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realize. I guess I thought you could just like sand it all after it was glazed, but yeah, you don't want it to take forever and like wear down your tool, like your sanding pads too.
Yeah. Because not everybody has enough money to buy diamond cores sanding pads.
Yeah, I just got some from Clay King, not Diamond Core. I got some Clay King ones. They're like $10. So we'll see how they go.
Oh.
Becca, you're never gonna be satisfied with these sanding pads.
No, now it's just a fucking joke. Now I can't not like rag on them.
They are expensive, though.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do they last a long time? If they last
Oh, yeah.
maybe they're worth it. I don't know.
I mean, it depends who you are. Like Isaac's sanding pads are fucking toast. Like
one pot.
Isaac's shoes sanding pad, like his 800 is totally gone. He was like, "Oh yeah, we need to get a new one." I'm like, "This is garbage." like I think he got new ones at Ensika, but yeah, they sand so many things that they definitely get their money's worth out of that.
I have one of his mugs, and the bottom is like looked glazed because it's so shiny.
It's so shiny. Yeah.
So how do you say? Because I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but Liz, I just got your mug in the mail today.
Yeah.
It was very nicely packaged. Had the string and had a little magnet on there and a pin. I think it was a pendant.
Mm-hmm. You got the magnet. I don't send to everybody. I just had an extra one, and I was like, I'm gonna give this to Ryan because he'll appreciate it.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Put it right on the fridge.
Nice.
And then I was like, Rachel, you got a little pendant if you want to do something with it. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was all nicely packaged, and then we got a little plant in there too. So we're gonna trade mugs or whatever I end up sending. I think you said it doesn't have to be a mug, but
yeah, whatever you want, just not a yarn bowl because I don't knit.
I'm not gonna send you a yarn bowl. Very reluctant to send anybody a yarn bowl. It's like, hey,
unless you
buy
know
it if you want it, but I'm not gonna send it to you.
Yeah, if you know they're like super into knitting, maybe.
Yeah.
The
only person that would be like realistic is Rebecca. Rebecca knits.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was asking how do you sand them? Because I think the bottom was sanded, and it's a speckled buff, so it is a little grittier.
Yeah, it's hard to get it super smooth. And even when I sand them, I don't like the way it looks. So like the sides of it, I just use like a 240-ish sandpaper to sand, like I still wet sand it, but sides, when it's exposed on the sides, I do that, and then the bottom, sometimes do that same method, but sometimes I use a diamond pad to do it's like 240 to 400 to sand the bottom. Yeah, so I'd like to get them super smooth, but like it turns it white, like it has like a white.
It looks chalky, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how to not have that happen. So maybe it's something I'm doing.
I mean, mine does the same because I have the same kind of clay. It's not the exact same clay body, but it's kind of similar.
Oh, yeah.
You should try sanding one of them at bisque and see what it does, putting it through the glaze.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I've
just
thought
to
about
see.
sanding them all at bisque too, but I'm just like lazy. I'm like, nah, it's gonna be fine if I don't.
I feel that.
Some people sand everything at bisque. I'm like, why? If you're covering the whole thing with glaze, like even the side.
Plus, you'd have to wait, right? You'd wet sand it, and then you'd have to wait for a period of time, and then like, wouldn't that cleanup be a lot worse than?
I'd rather just clean it up properly on the wheel, or when I'm trimming, than sand it after bisque.
It just seems like the water and the like bits of like clay that gets sanded off and drip down the side and all that shit would get like super messy on bisqueware.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple of potters do it.
Wait, what? No, you dip the whole, you fucking dunk the piece in water.
Well, I don't do that when it's finished. I dip
but when it's bisque.
I dip the sponge and then I sand.
I know, but when it's like bisque, you just dunk the whole fucking thing in water.
The whole thing.
And then you sand it. So then there is no drips. So it's already wet, so there's no dust. So.
And then you dunk it to get any excess off as you're sanding?
Yeah, so I have a dirty bowl and a clean bowl, essentially. So, like, the dirty bowl is for, like, the sandpaper, and then I put it in the clean bowl and rinse it off, and then hang it up to, I don't hang it.
You hang it up to dry?
I hang it up to dry.
The cup hanger?
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? If you have a speckled clay, it's still going to come out. The manganese will move out to the surface regardless. So you'd have to like buff it real quick if you wanted it super smooth. Like that's what I do. But I also don't glaze any of the outside of my cup. Yeah. So
I'll try on, especially on like the kind of mug I sent Ryan with it's like shapes that are glazed, but a lot of it is raw clay. Maybe I'll try sanding it before I glaze it, like when it's bisque.
Yeah, why
Just to
not? Try it
see
out.
what happens. And
Because
then the bottom's
then
like,
you could, yeah, you could just skip that step afterwards.
hmm yeah,
Yeah, it might be
or
something
that step might be super quick instead of like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll try it.
I was curious about your assistant that you have helping you.
Mhm.
How
Because of
often?
us, by the way.
Yeah,
Because
thank
of
you guys.
us.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
well, you should tell that story. And then I was wondering what they're
Yeah.
helping you with and how often they're helping you.
Yeah, for sure. So her name is Hannah Lim. She's super great. She listens to y'all's podcast, and I had submitted a question saying this was when I was like feeling a little overwhelmed, I think, and and you guys had talked about at certain points like your assistants and stuff, and I was like, when's a good time to hire an assistant? Like, when do I need to? When should I do that? When is it smart? And like, how do you go about doing it? Like paying and like all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Insurance. I knew
He's
you
trying to
didn't need to
find the
like.
episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
It's in there somewhere. Yeah. So I submitted a question. You guys answered it on one of your episodes, and she heard it. And she lives in Colorado. She's in Parker. And so she reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I heard the question you submitted on Wheel Talk. And are you still looking? Are you looking for someone to help you?" And I was like, at that point, I wasn't actually like looking for someone. I was just like, I need to think about looking for someone. And when she reached out, I was like, you know what? Let's just see how this goes. So I was like, let's meet, let's talk. See what you're looking for, what your experience is, and what you're willing to do. And it worked out. And she started working for me back in August of 2020, yeah, this past year. So yeah, she's still working for me. She does 2 days a week, Wednesdays and Fridays for about 6 hours.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so it's pretty part-time, but still a good amount for me. It helps a lot for me. She does a lot of, I have her do some glazing stuff, like when I just do the taped designs and I don't do the carving, like I'll have her do that glazing. She does other random things for me, weighing clay. I had her make those little pendant things that I sent out. What else? A lot of random things. It's like, making glazes. She's helped with glazes, and she has a degree from I can't remember, UNC, University of Northern Colorado, in ceramics. Yeah. So yeah, she has a background which helps. So I don't have to we're not starting from square one, with ceramics. So yeah, she does, and then she'll help tape certain designs, like the really basic ones, and yeah, those kind of random things.
Nice. It's nice to hear that she reached out to you. That probably made it a little. I mean, it kind of got your butt in gear a little bit to decide, because you're like, I have this opportunity. I don't even have to go around and post an Instagram post and make sure I get all of my requirements in there and everything you need.
Yeah, it was nice. It was it came when it was needed, I think, which is good. It worked out really well.
Yeah.
It looked like I found the episode. I think it's 89. Do you need help in your studio? That was from May of 2021. If that was the right episode.
The right timeline.
Yeah. So if she heard that in May-ish, and August is when we talked and started. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at us. This is like a real life success story.
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, and you guys helped me. It's helped push my business a little bit further, quicker, because of that. So that's
Is it harder to make that it's nice to have people help you with certain parts of it. Was it hard with having to pay somebody for 6 hours each day for 2 days a week, and it's you can kind of mathematically figure that out. It's what should I have them do that's going to make me the most profit to make it easy?
Yeah. Yeah, I think of it as like now I know the kinds of things that I want her to do and that she can do and I feel comfortable having her do. And so like if I that stuff comes up throughout the week when she's not around, I'm like, okay, that can wait. I'll have her do that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll work on, like the throwing and trimming and carving, those kinds of things that like I'm not gonna have anybody else do. Um, yeah, so it's kind of weird to think
Does it
that
affect
way.
your workflow too of what you need to focus on so that you have work for her?
Yeah, it does. But it's in a good way because sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to do anything. It's like, oh, she's gonna be here tomorrow, so I need to maybe make sure this and this is ready for her so she can like come in and not she doesn't have to wait for me to do anything. So it's been good for me, I think, to have her there, not just to have her help with stuff, but to have like it's kind of accountability for me to show up and kind of do things when I don't really want to do things because I've been trying to have a philosophy of like don't spend your whole life working and like enjoy time off and stuff. And so sometimes I take that to the extreme where I'm like I just want to like chill all day, like I don't have to do any work. It's fine. I'm my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
But like if she's coming the next day, it's like no, you can't really think that way right now.
Yeah.
So, but I'm big on work-life balance right now. I've been trying to be good about that too. So, but it's good. Like having her helps me balance it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
it's weird though being in charge of someone else too. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
And you're
I'm
I
working in
agree.
there at the same time that she's there,
hmm
right?
most of the time. Yeah, sometimes like if I know she's like good on something, if I have to run an errand or something, I'll like go do that. But most of the time I try to work when she's there because like well these are like normal hours that I should be working anyway, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, it's gets a little cramped in there too, but we make it work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a different skill set because you're like, besides just planning scheduling and planning your own schedule of what you need to do,
hmm
it's like making it a good environment for somebody else to be in, as well
Yeah.
as being a good, I would say like leader, but also like telling them enough to get them to do what you expect in a
hmm
good like quality that you would do yourself, or good enough quality that you would accept yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then giving them like feedback if there's something that like you want tweaked, like that can be hard to
It
talk
is.
about sometimes. And
Yeah. That's hard because I'm like scared. I don't like want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I also like I know that if I don't say something, then like I'm just gonna end up paying for it later. Like I'm gonna have to redo something or whatever. So
Mhm.
like that's been
Yeah.
something that I'm still learning how to do, but I don't know. I try to be nice about it. I'm like,
Yeah,
hey, so this is something I don't know. I don't have an example, but yeah,
I feel like it's like you got to like
be
fail
nice.
fast or have them fail fast and then like just tweak it and like
hmm
help them figure out how to do it better next time, and then they'll like remember that.
Yeah, yeah, or like give examples of like when
Not like
it's
have them
not.
crash and burn, but like give them enough guidance that you think they need, and
Yeah.
if you feel like it makes sense, because some people, if you tell them to how to do something, they may not be a question asker, or they may just
hmm
intuitively understand what you're asking,
Yeah.
or they'll figure it out. And
Yeah, or sometimes like they think they know, and then you think that they know, and then you realize that they don't. Like you didn't maybe communicate it the way that you thought you did, and then you're like, oh, I should have. That's my fault. I should have told you this and this.
Mhm.
Um, so that's another thing too. It's like you don't think about all the ways that someone could take the information you're giving them. It's like
Mhm.
you just have your own perspective and like, oh, that's how I would
Yeah.
understand that instruction.
Or
So it's
even some
really,
things that you're just used to doing because you've been doing clay for like 7+ years, that somebody
mhm,
coming in may not know. Something
yeah,
is like something that we've had to tweak a little bit is like having the right thickness of glaze and knowing how long to hold it in the glaze based on the type of glaze
yeah,
you're dipping it in, because this glaze looks different than this glaze, like thickness wise. You probably have fewer glazes because of you mostly have the white, but the stroking coats and stuff, I'm sure painting them on is a little different, but like that's something that is intuitive to me because I've just been using these glazes for like years. But for somebody that's coming in new, this glaze is different from this bucket of glaze, and it's something to teach them a little bit, as you go.
Yeah, I try to like sometimes I'll tell her, I'm like, hey, I know like you might know this already, but I'm just gonna show you how I do it in case, like, so there's no confusion. And it's like, even if it's like me doing the same thing that she saw like 3 weeks ago or something, it's like, no, I want to make sure that I'm clear on how I'm telling you how to do it, just so we save both of both of ourselves like some struggle and having to redo shit and all that stuff.
I find it funny, my progression in like owning my own studio and having employees, and like most of my employees were on the spectrum, enough so that if you did say something that rocked them off, it would not be a productive day at all. To like to
like
now,
if you're
like,
critical to something that they were doing wrong or something that wasn't quite
not critical as much of like just throwing off their whole day, like you just threw off what they were doing. You know, she was definitely like on the Asperger's, line. And so if you were like, I can't have you do this, she'd be like, oh no, what was I doing? And just like think about it all day. Anyway, going from that into now where I'm the head like thrower, but also I'm like, I am the most experienced, and now I just like go up and I'm like, you're doing that wrong. like I or the other day I like walked up and I was like, is there a reason why you're not cleaning off your bat before you put your clay down? And she was like, well, if I'm getting it really wet. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work. and I'm just like completely brutally honest now, and it's great, and it kind of sucks all at the same time, I'm sure, but it just gets it out of the way really quickly. But it's interesting, like when I was in your guys' position, I was definitely like, so is there a reason why you're doing this? And I still do that. Like,
don't do that.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you have the ruler flipped the other way so that you can't, you're not right next to the line? Like, just like stupid fucking things. Anyway, moving on.
Well, that's also assuming that most people want to work the most efficient way possible, right? And some people may not look at things that way. They'll think like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Fine,
but and then fine is less than good. Yeah, but at the same time, when you're the boss, you want your employees working in the most efficient way possible. Unless they're being paid by the hour, then it's up to or by the piece, then it's up to them. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But it's in their best interest to be as efficient as possible.
What I was gonna ask. Can I ask you guys?
Yeah.
Or you, Becca, I guess, a question about the production stuff. Do you guys kind of like, you throw a piece and if it's like kind of fucked up or something, do you scrap it yourself, or like does Rebecca come in and she's like, no, these aren't gonna work, or like how do you regulate the
most of the time
quality?
most of the time we self-regulate. So today I threw pinch pots for her, the first time I've ever thrown pinch pots for her. And so like we'll kind of see, she'll probably go in and kind of see which one she likes out of those, and then we'll talk about it then. But like if I'm throwing something that I've thrown forever and ever, like tiny planters or whatever, like what Merritt does, if she doesn't like it, she'll just trash it. And
Merritt will trash it?
Yeah, Merritt will trash it. Like when she's throwing, like if it's got like a little notch in it, and we all have our own different standards, like I am much more lenient in my standards as opposed to like maybe Merritt, who hasn't been throwing as long and doesn't know Rebecca. So like like I know Rebecca, so if I have something, if I have a little bubble in it, it doesn't matter. Like that's going to go through and it's going to get covered by glaze. That's fine.
Yeah.
But also the trimmers are the second, like catch. But like if somebody was throwing consistently like little cracks in the rims, consistently, I think that she'd probably be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, hey.
Like, let's sit down
and like we had that, like
yeah.
like where I was throwing these things that were super thin rimmed, and the clay that we have has a little bit of grog in it, and it's pugged, and so like it's shit. And so so like the things that I was throwing had a little bit more wave in the rims and stuff, and she was like, this isn't good enough, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, and you just correct,
Gotcha.
But yeah, definitely you need to self-regulate.
Okay.
If and just from owning your own, most of us own our own business or have worked for ourselves, so we have enough like,
yeah, that's helpful for sure. Yeah, I think whenever I like go to hire someone to do all the slip casting stuff, or I'm gonna hold interviews rather, it's like because like I think I just need to find the best person for the job. I like that's something I'll be looking forward to is like, have you like been working in this industry for a little bit, even if it's part-time, like I don't need someone that's been full-time. Yeah. Obviously they wouldn't want to work for someone else if they were full-time, but yeah, I'd like someone that has like a little bit of like a stake in the game kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's important for them to know what your standards are. And obviously your standards are incredibly high. So like really high. Like I've seen all of your stuff in person, and I know that it's like, you're not going to accept like a fuck up, just a tiny one, Yeah. And I think that is, somebody once told me that your employees will never care as much as you do. And I think that is always true, but they can know what you expect.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they know what you expect, then that's good enough.
Yeah. Cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
I came up with that and just now.
off the noggin there, Becca.
Off the cuff. We're almost at 2 hours. How's your timing?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have anything else to do. Ryan's probably like, oh, I need to go to the studio.
No, I'm good. My assistant was over here earlier, so I was just like, meeting with her and like, hey, you got here. She gets here at 6 normally, so I was like, okay, here's your list of what we need to get done. I'm gonna be recording at this time, and then she got done, and Rachel took care of it, and hey,
oh, nice.
It's like as long as you got stuff planned out, then having the I think having the consistency is good for me, at least every Monday I can expect it. So, and then figuring out what they're good at, what they're most efficient at, what they like doing. I mean, I feel bad if I'm like, okay, I'm going to have you underglaze mugs again today. And you've been doing it the last like 3 days you've been here. It's like, let's give you a break. These take forever.
Yeah.
And then I don't do anything with them because they're just piled up in a damp box. And I'm like, okay, now I need to get to carving them. And it's, but then I'm not going to start recording how I'm carving them because that's got to be for Instagram content because I'm probably not going to carve these colors again for a bit. So.
Yeah. I feel bad sometimes
when
I have. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on. I have an idea for Ryan after this.
She feels bad sometimes when
like Hannah will come in and do something, and then like the next time she's there again, like I have made no progress past like the stuff that she's done.
On like, anything?
No, or like no, on the things that she was working on, like.
Oh, like you're supposed to. She passed the baton and you didn't pick up the baton.
I didn't because I have another baton to pick up,
Yeah.
like, but if it's like she can pick it up the next time, it's like if I can leave that for her, then it's like something I know that she can do, so I don't need to worry about it for like if she's there Friday and does that, then Wednesday comes around, it's still there and still needs to be done. But yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's interesting how we as I'm not going to say creatives, but people in like a more of a craft field feel that our employees / like assistants like they need to feel value out of the job, whereas like, you know, when you have a job at like Burger King, you're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like it does, like, and we're like, you have to do something different every single time or else you're gonna get bored. And like, you know, like we care so much because that's what we would want, you know. And which is like that's the best thing about being a home.
They're also kind of like getting into that. Like, I know Erica, for instance, my assistant, she's like just kind of new into it, and she's, you know, she's got the itch to start selling a little bit, or, you know, getting, you know, is she going to get a wheel or get a kiln or like have her own studio and stuff. So like, I know these skills that she's like helping. The thing she's doing like for me is going to make her so much more efficient in her own process, but also like it's good to give her a bunch of extra tools under her belt as she's like, it's going to ramp her up so much quicker by doing these monotonous things for me. But
how far is Parker? Isn't it like 30 minutes?
It's far. It's like probably 30 to 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Wow. Wow. My best friend in middle school moved to Parker, and I moved out there with them, and then we played board games with nothing in the house.
Nice.
They had a huge ass house. Anyway, Parker's got a lot of big houses.
What's the Parker connection here? Is that where you live, Liz, or is that where your studio assistant comes from? And
that's where she comes from. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty far to travel for that, but it's cool that she's dedicated. Okay.
I guess that's why you're there for 6 hours, right? You got to make it worth your while.
Yeah. It is hard sometimes. I'm like, I don't know if I ever something to fill 6 hours, but most of the time I can find stuff to do.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan, here's my idea. Okay, you need to do a reel, and every time you carve a pot, it changes colors.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Every single carving or every line?
Every single like line.
Like vertical line?
Yeah, vertical line, and then it switches a color, and then you do a vertical line, it switches a color.
Okay. Because I got a bin of rainbow pots here. I got like fucking 10 colors right now that are like ready to go.
Nice. Well, you video them before Friday, and we can work on it on Sunday. We'll edit
before Friday? Are you kidding me?
Hop to it.
That ain't gonna fucking happen.
Or we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it when I'm out there next.
How long does it take you to carve one of those?
One mug is probably about 5 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
You could get them done by Friday. You're being lazy.
At least one of each color.
Yeah, one of each color.
But I save all the trim. I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to trim, I've only got 2 of each color. So, like, if I'm going to trim one, I might as well trim 2.
Right, yeah. If you're pulling it out and doing all that stuff,
Well, you just need a video carving the whole mug. You don't need a video, like, carving and then stopping. Because we can edit it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably just do that's a lot of videos, though.
No, it's like 10 videos that are 5 minutes each. It's fine. And then we'll cut them together, and then you'll delete all the videos.
It's fine.
What app do you use to edit your videos?
Edit videos?
Oh, you don't edit?
I don't edit anything. I use Reels to edit.
Oh, I can't. I've never actually used Reels to edit.
Well, not edit, but I mean, I
use an app called
and then cut it down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I either use TikTok or I use the app called B-Cut. Usually I use B-Cut. It's got a little bumblebee on it, and it's yellow, and it's free. And it will export it into, like, 720, 14, whatever, blah blah blah, 480. But I haven't had
480?
any
What are you
real
recording that with, a
big.
potato?
I want my.
I'm
It's
a
a fuzzy
potato.
filter. It's supposed to look
Well, it's like-
vintage.
it's
So,
it's
Liz,
vintage.
Are you doing a bunch of editing?
Yeah. Every video I post, the reels I post, I edit all of them. I use InShot. It's called.
InShot. I
Just
think I've heard of
InShot.
that before.
Yeah.
Didn't they
I
used to
like
put a
it.
bunch of watermarks on videos that had InShot on them back in the day? Or
I
maybe
think
they still do.
I think they did. I don't think I paid for it though, because I still get ads, and they don't put it on there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just like edit it all there, save it as a video, and it uploads to. So like
Oh.
when I do reels, I just click like from my album, upload the one.
Right.
Add
Okay.
music, and it's done.
Is that because you are adjusting the speed of it? Like you're not recording all of them in time lapse, for instance, and then you're uploading them exactly how they were recorded?
I upload them in real time, and then I edit them. I speed up certain parts, and I cut a lot of parts out. And then I do
Sounds like a lot of
transitions
work.
too. It's a lot of If you, I don't think Becca, you'd be really into it. It's like
I
sometimes
mean, we don't edit anything, so I
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I don't
I
that's-
want
mean, when I did TikToks, I used to edit, but you just watch it, and then when my hand would go to the bucket, I'd cut that out, and then
Yeah.
you
do
pick
the next
same
poll.
video and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
move it to the front.
When
Yeah.
what I do hate about B-Cut is that at the very end, like when you're uploading the video, you have to leave it in that in the app. You have to like leave it open for it to like upload. And I have such shit like I don't have internet in my apartment. I have like terrible reception everywhere. It takes like 20 minutes.
Oh God.
So it doesn't save to your
Yeah.
camera roll. It actually
No, it does save to the camera roll. You just can't exit out of the app
Just
while
takes
it's
20
uploading to
minutes.
the camera roll.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
InShot's like that too.
Yeah.
But I have, I guess,
Okay.
maybe better reception.
Yeah.
It does-
Oh, I'm sure you do. I don't even have internet.
Yeah.
I was at Costco the other day. It was like the highlight of my life. This lady was like, "Oh, who do you have for your internet service?" And I was like, "I don't have internet." And she's like, "Do you need internet? Are you moving?" And I was like, "No, I just don't want it."
It's like, what? Are you a
She's like-
millennial?
She's like, good for you."
Never talk
Okay,
to me
boomer.
again. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
I think I actually just saw. It's weird because we have different accounts, right? So we like get on the Wheel Talk account or whatever, and I was looking at the reels on Wheel Talk, and I think they have a new setting. If you upload a video to it, you can actually change the speed at which you want to show it. Like you can change it if it was at 1 time speed, you could change it to like 2 or 4 times speed or whatever inside of
They
Reels,
should have had that.
which is cool.
They should have had that from the beginning. They didn't have that from. I've never done it
I
on
don't think
Reels.
so the way I do the reels, I just record them at whatever I want on my phone. Typically, I use hyperlapse to record, and then I know about how long I want the clip to be. So if I'm glazing, for instance, I'll probably dip it, and then you can change between like 6 times as default, but you can change it to 4, and you can see what the end result speed time is going to be, total time, and then that's kind of what I gauge based on like what attention span is going to take to show this certain step, and then I just save it in whatever speed, but.
Yeah.
And then I just piece those together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Reels, man.
I know.
But then I'll lose
So-
track because I've got like a whole bunch of videos, and then I'm like, you can only see this thumbnail is just what you start with, and I'm like, what the hell was this? And you're like, I'm trying to piece all these together, like before and after, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna record the after 3 days later or 4 days later. That's
Yeah.
like,
It's a whole job in itself to do all the Instagram stuff.
Yeah. I started just taking all of my old TikTok videos and transferring them to Reels. I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I don't care if it's got the TikTok logo on it. I don't care.
So many people do that. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think it's still, people are still gonna watch it. if it's good, you know.
I think people are
Yeah,
looking at
most of
yours,
them
Becca,
are terrible.
for the captions.
For the what?
I think people are reading your captions.
Are they?
What's on my captions?
Your captions are like, don't give a fuck attitude. Like that, people love that. You get
Yeah.
so many comments, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Becca never posts, and she gets like 30 comments.
Oh,
Nice.
that last one that I.
Well, you're getting into the discussion ones, but like some people just
yeah.
randomly comment, and they're like, I fucking love it.
Yeah, like the last one that holy shit. Oh my god, that one that the one that I was like when people won't sell something because they don't like it.
Mhm.
I posted that and it got 96 comments.
Nice.
And then the other one that I posted yesterday about signing your work got 76 comments. Really, that is a really good way to have engagement, is like if you're, because mine and Ryan, at least, I don't know about yours, but mine and Ryan's customer or people on
Following.
Instagram following are mostly potters. And
Mhm.
so it's really good to have those like conversations that are like controversial. God,
Yeah.
I had people fucking blowing up my phone, be like, "You're wrong."
What?
I'm like, whoa.
So was the general like consensus for the one where you said about like selling stuff or not selling stuff because you weren't proud of it or you didn't like it or whatever?
Yeah, here's what it
was
said. Here
the
was the comment.
consensus?
So the comment was when I said, "Do you know what makes me giggle? When people won't sell something because they don't like it. I mean, I like cold canned green beans, and I bet you don't." Because we have different tastes. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean there isn't a weirdo out there that is completely different from you. I guess I've never understood that in a whole body of work, if one is something you don't like, why would you scrap it? Do you have to like every single piece we sell? And I had some people that came up and they were like, "Yeah, but actually I had a really good discussion with one person, and we will do an episode with it." Because I asked her if I could read the conversation because it was really good. But, some people were like, "I'm never going to sell something that I don't like. It represents me." And I'm like, in my brain, I'm just like, wow, you think like an awful lot of yourself. Like, if.
Like you're taking yourself too seriously kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like you can't put out
it's
any
like,
flawed thing. You're completely perfect in and of yourself. You have no flaws to your...
Yeah. Or it's not even like the flaws, it's like a color. Like,
Yeah.
if like let's say Liz did one and she didn't like that one mug she did a monochromatic color scheme. It was like different colors of blues, and she was like, I don't like this. I'm not gonna sell it. But like somebody probably thought that was the shit, you know? And it's like it didn't go with the work, and then somebody goes, "Well, my line of work, represents me." And I'm like, yeah, but a bunch of different people are buying it.
Yeah.
Not one person isn't buying your whole line of work unless you're Isaac Shue. And then one person bought his the Kansas line, the Kansas like mug collection that he did, like the Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. One human bought all 9 cups of those, which was totally cool.
Yeah.
But
Jeez. Good for him.
But
money spends the same.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't care why you buy it.
But like, I think that we think very highly of ourselves, even though typically we think actually not highly of ourselves. Like, as who we are, we're very critical of ourselves. But then when it comes to like somebody questioning whether you'd sell something or not, you're like, oh no, I could never.
Yeah.
And but it is interesting just the way that people think. And I mean, I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer. I just think that it's a good discussion point.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if there's nothing like flawed with it to a point where like it's not usable, then why not? So what are you gonna do with it? Throw it away? That's wasteful.
Right. Yeah,
I
you're
think.
gonna smash it up. I
Yeah.
mean, somebody will love it. I've seen
Mhm.
people buy cups with cracks in the rims, and I have cups with cracks in the rims, and I use
Yeah.
them frequently,
Mhm.
and I think that we underestimate the love of weirdness and quirkiness,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. I had so I posted a bunch of seconds like a video of like a bunch of seconds of the slipcast planners that I made. And one of the places that I consign at, she was like, just bring them in. Like, nobody notices that stuff. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I'll sell them as seconds, but like, I don't want those pieces because they are like, some of them are very warped. And
Yeah.
then like some of the like holes that I drilled, I got them too dry, and there's like a big blowout. Like you can see
Yeah.
that
It's
the
got like
clay
a
is all like
spread of cracks from the hole.
Yeah.
yeah, just like weird stuff. And I'm like, I get what she's saying, but like I don't want someone that's buying that to think that that's my first, like
Right.
without knowing it's a second. Like I'd
I
rather
mean, she
sell them as
probably also
seconds.
knows like people would buy it and she would get a cut of it. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she thinks
Oh,
you're like
she
trying to
just,
get rid of it, but like you're not gonna
like,
toss it versus like
and
giving it to
what
her.
she doesn't know either is that like I would sell them for more as seconds on my website and make more
Yeah.
than if I consign them
Wholesale.
with her, or
Yeah.
wholesale, either one. But yeah, I'd rather have someone know they're getting a second and be okay with it than
Absolutely.
someone see my work in public and be like, oh, this is her work. I'm like, oh, cool, like it's nice, but like it's kind of weird looking. Like,
Yeah.
and they don't know that's a second. Like they don't. That's not like, I get where
It's not
someone's like, it's
advertised
not
as a second.
representing me. It's like that doesn't represent me and like the work that I normally do. And they don't know that that's a they don't know it's a second.
Well, and
So,
and I'm
difference.
not saying like don't mark it as a second. Like I think you
Mhm.
should.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely think you should say like, hey, this wasn't as good, discount it, whatever. And it was actually like it was a very specific video that I saw, and I'm not going to mention who it was. I will tell you after. But it was a very specific video, and they were basically like, I didn't like this color, so I'm gonna reglaze it so
Mhm.
that it's better, and that's fine, whatever. But
Yeah.
also, like, does anybody else not like that color? Like, it's a color.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the glaze. There's nothing wrong with the piece. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I feel that
Yeah.
way about certain colored things I try out. I'm like, I don't like that, but like I'm gonna list it anyway because
Yeah.
Somebody will like it.
someone does. Like, I mean, like literally like 95 times out of 100, I think someone buys it. Like I can't even say like 9 times out of 10. Like the percentage is higher than that people are like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
It's like, and it's
I
also
don't
like,
really
get
like
this
the
out of
color
my
purple.
life.
Yeah, like get it out of my
Yeah.
house, out of my studio.
Half of the shit that I did in the last update I didn't like. Like, I mean, like I was just trying shit out and I was depressed. So I was just like painting things and like, but they sold just fine and people loved them. And I'm like, great, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But
There's
then again,
something
I
for
don't sign
everyone.
my work. I don't sign my work, so I don't have a line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't even need a line, I think.
Nah,
Do whatever you want to do.
that's right.
5 lines has no line.
How ironic.
It should be called No 5 Lines.
No 5 lines, 5 unlines.
No
5
lines.
negative lines.
One of my
Negative 5
favorite
lines.
One of my favorite parts of Encanto that we know that Becca is obsessed with not intentionally, it just came at a very specific point in my life, is when the dad of the main character is like, I know how you feel. It's hard to be in a family where everybody is exceptional and you feel unceptional.
You just made up a word.
Yes.
Unceptional.
Unceptional.
Oh. Yeah. Unceptional.
Unceptional.
I like how you love that movie so much.
I don't actually. I do
Oh.
like it, but I don't.
Yeah, Becca sent me that video of that intro. What is it? Family Madrigal?
Madrigal, but yes.
Madrigal, sorry. Madrigal. All these pronunciations, that damn story with pronunciations of the word envelope. It's like, get the fuck out of here, people.
I think I'm envelope. I say envelope.
Yeah, you didn't even choose the one that I use. I use envelope.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I say pillow. So
it was more between in and on. Envelope or envelope. And people were like, envelope. You missed the EN. And I'm like,
you did.
But I'm like, they sound, envelope sounds so much like N-I-N.
Envelope,
to me.
envelope, envelope.
And then really Southern is like, envelope.
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 Yeah. Southerners like to add an extra syllable to every word. Yeah. Love it.
Okay, well, we should probably wrap up.
Yeah. Anything else? How do people find you? Best place to find you, Liz?
Liz Cohen Ceramics is my Instagram and Facebook thing, and then LizCohenCeramics.com is my website.
That's Cohen.
Yep, Cohen. Yeah, that's the only things I have. I don't do the TikToks or the
TikToks,
the tweeters or any of that stuff.
Yeah, I've never had a Twitter. Becca, have you ever had a Twitter before?
Do Twitter very much.
Oh my God, I tried to do Twitter like 4 times. I think I tried in like 2008, probably 2012, maybe not 2008, maybe 2012, 2014, 2018, and then I still get emails from Twitter, and it's like, you have to blah blah blah, and then I like tried to unsubscribe from the emails, and it's like, what's your password? Like, I don't know.
Like a cult, you'll never get out.
I don't understand. I don't know how to do Twitter.
I don't know the point of it. It's like the worst parts about all the social media is in one social media.
Yeah,
it's just like
the worst way to try to communicate in like a small section of text.
I actually love the way that Twitter was supposed to be, just like sharing random fucking thoughts, you know? Like, I think that is gold. That can be gold. But yeah, it is a lot now. It's a lot. My sister is on Twitter. I don't know. Ugh. Yeah.
It's like, does it end you up like net happier being on there? Like, I would say Instagram net positive. Like, I'm happier being on there than I would be if.
Yeah.
Than not. But
I'm
what I hear from
Twitter
people,
is net
Twitter
negative.
is a net negative for most people.
I think also, well, for me personally, I don't think I would have a social media at all if I didn't have a business.
I agree.
And I think maybe
100%.
I think that way because I have a business. Like maybe if I never had a business, I might be okay with social media, but it's hard to say because I can't go back in time. But yeah, right now I'm like, if I didn't have a business, I would not be doing this.
It's hard to be in the mindset of like what people like even just differing, like what does Rachel spend her time doing on social media versus like me. It's like it's always pottery related, so it's like,
yeah,
you know, obviously I get on tangents, but the common thread is always like the business is always kind of the focal point.
Yeah, it's like you're doing work when you're on. For me, what I see it as like this is work time when I'm
or like
on
market research kind of stuff, or
I absolutely would not have a Facebook for sure if I didn't have a business. They made me get a Facebook in college, my senior year, because we had to be on like a senior group page thing. So my Facebook name was Foodie McArtist because I didn't want anybody in high school to find me.
Foodie McArtist.
Yeah. But yeah, and I only got Instagram for work, for the business. But I have recently been getting into like more abstract art. So a lot more abstract art is on my page, and it's really fun. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I need to start following some things that are not pottery to just like be inspired by other stuff.
I'll start sending you cool painters.
Yeah, I would love that. I try not to scroll a lot, but like I obviously inevitably get caught up in it. And so like if I do get caught up in it, I would like to see something not pottery related.
For sure.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, Liz, we appreciate you being on here tonight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Of course.
I know everybody will get a lot of value out of the various different aspects of what we chatted about. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
We're going to
course.
say bye, but don't leave.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say thanks everyone for I wave, but no one can see it. Thanks everyone for listening, and yeah, love you guys.
Yeah, look her stuff up so
you
you can
too.
see all the stuff that's related to what we talked about. So you can see kind of the intricacies and the fine details and all that good stuff. So.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yo, yo, higgity, yo. It's Becca here. Hey, just so you know, thank you for listening. And also, we have. What do we have again? A Patreon. We have a Patreon that you should go, and if you want to donate to, you could donate to it. If you don't, that's cool too. But just Google Wheel Talk Podcast Patreon. Don't do the other one, because there is a Wheel Talk on Patreon, but it's not us. So make sure you get the right one. It's in the show notes. And also, leave us a review because they're fun to read. Okay, bye!